Welcome to Shootin The SHT, your go-to podcast for real talk on real estate. Listen to these real estate experts battle it out over hot topics, share some laughs about life, and dive deep into the real estate biz. So whether you're buying, selling, or just here for the Rhode Island scoop, you're in the right place. Now here's your hosts, Nick and JT.
All right, welcome to the first episode of Shootin The SHT.
Slocum Home Team.
Brought to you by the Slocum Home Team. My name is Nick Slocum, and I am joined by one of my most favorite people in the entire world here.
Jon Intro, thanks.
Thanks for joining us today. So this is our first episode, which is good news, John. You know why?
Why is that?
Because that means it's probably going to be our worst episode, and it's all downhill from
Only
here.
up from
right?
here, hopefully.
All right, awesome. So let's start with a little introduction, kind of give you guys some background on myself and on John, and kind of go from there. So sound like a plan there, JT?
Sounds great. Let's go.
Cool. All right, I guess I should probably start with me, right? It makes sense?
You're the older one, so.
All right, that is true. More handsome as well. In regards to my background, I am a local realtor here in Rhode Island, also licensed in insurance, family business called Slocum Real Estate and Slocum Insurance. We operate on the real estate side under the name the Slocum Home Team. I've been in the business since 2006, coming up on 18 years here.
Long time.
It is a long time.
Getting up there, buddy.
I certainly am. You're not far behind there either. Not quite as many grays yet, but you'll get there. So I got in right out of college. Actually got licensed my junior year of college. Started full-time immediately upon graduation from college. Back then, you could actually, if you could fog a mirror, you could get a mortgage. So I actually bought my first house before I actually ever sold a house. Not sure how that was possible, but we made it work.
Sounds like a great idea. We're going to have to talk more about that.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that at some point, I'm sure. So I got in, part of the original house hackers. I'm not sure original, but, started, I know it's a big fad these days, but got in, rented out some rooms, had some friends in there, and started my real estate journey. So I was a solo agent for about 10 years, and then myself and yours truly across the table from me here, Mr. John, started the Nick Slocum team back in 2016. Ran that successfully for about 5 years, and recently transitioned that into the Slocum Home Team a little over a year ago. So a bit about my background. That's where I stand, and that's all I got to say about that for now, anyway.
Y'all done now?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
Take it away. What do you got?
Well, I'm noticing a trend here is you like to pick on me for copying you. There's a lot of things along the way over the last 10 years or so where I feel like you make fun of me and eventually jump on board.
Like what, John?
Like Taylor Swift.
Love Taylor Swift. Definitely saw the light on that one, that's for sure. Thanks to my daughters who definitely turned me on to being a Swiftie. Very exciting. And I got to admit, it recently came on the radio over the summer, and it never came off the radio when they were in the car. And lo and behold, before I knew it, I was not turning it off in the car after they got out of the car at school. And just continued to absolutely adore that famous pop star there, Miss Taylor Swift.
Now you're just belting her out. You have her sticker on your headset over there.
I do, yes. Yeah, we
Unbelievable
Swiftie. Oh, yeah.
You didn't want to start a team at first?
Favorite Taylor Swift song, if we get into that?
Blank Space.
Blank Space.
100%.
Wow. I'm kind of into a Sparks Fly mood lately, a little sappy, but it's kind of cool, I guess, But
You didn't want to start a team back in the day?
I did not.
No?
I was very... let's say I was a bit of a control freak. I was not quite ready to give up anything and start the team. You were kind of like a little chihuahua, just like biting at my heels constantly.
That's how I roll. I don't give up.
My little strawberry blonde sidekick. Just biting at my heels there for many years. And you did convince me to start the team.
Yeah. And most recently, you were picking on me for copying your white shoes. So I switched over and started wearing the Nikes, and now all of a sudden you're showing me a shopping cart filled with a bunch of Nikes you want to buy.
I did buy a couple today, actually. But I have to blame that also on my daughters who bought me a pair of Nikes for Christmas. And who can upset their daughters? Regardless of what you think you claim by wearing Nikes because you're so original. My daughters bought them for me, and I again saw the light. They're a lot cooler than I am, and I'm going to follow whatever suggestions they have. So I think you skipped over a key part about your introduction to real estate, John. Let's circle back to that because I know you had a long, back-breaking career in construction.
Yes.
Before you joined the team at the old advanced age of, was it 21?
21.
Okay.
21.
Just putting the timeline together here for everybody at home.
Wrinkly and gray. Yeah, I know you like to make fun of me for this.
I do, actually.
It is true,
Yeah.
Nick. I went to trade school.
Okay.
I learned in depth about construction, carpentry, electrical, plumbing.
Okay.
I interned with an electrician. I worked for a contractor doing everything from demo to framing to working with electrical and plumbing all the way to finished carpentry, kitchens, bathrooms, moldings.
Toughest summer of your life, or
Toughest summer and winter of my life, actually. 2 summers, 1 winter. But seriously, it was heavy work. It was a tough winter. It was a winter where we had a ton of snow. I was shoveling roofs to work on them outside in the -degree weather.
shoveling roofs? That sounds dangerous.
When putting the plywood up there, you'd have to lock in the tongue and groove. So you put a 2x4 down. You swing at it with a sledgehammer while you're standing on the sheet you're hitting.
Okay.
So the bottom flipped up on one of those, and I snowboarded right off the roof on a sheet of plywood.
Okay.
So is that the sore back that kind of made me say, I don't know if this is going to work out well when I'm in my 30s and 40s. And I'll tell you, if I was still doing it now, back would probably be a lot more sore.
Yeah, most definitely. And let's talk about how we found you, John, because it's quite the story. It was in, what was it called? Missed Connections on Craigslist or something along those lines. So in all actuality, we did use Craigslist as a job board back in, what was it, 2010?
2011.
2011. Freshly married. I was a young buck back then. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, we found John on Craigslist. He answered that very strange and vague ad about selling homes, and came in, and we haven't been able to shake him since.
No.
So, yeah.
Keep trying to get rid of me, but it's not working.
Cool. So that's a little bit of an introduction. Do you want to dive deeper into starting the team, or you being all over me to do that? Or?
Yeah, when I was a Chihuahua,
You were that little chihuahua, yeah.
I guess some habits can't break them. But yeah, I would been in the business about 5 years at that point, and was starting to grow, but wanted more and more and more, and saw this, senior citizen kind of fella that was.
What was I, 28 at the time?
Yeah, you were
30.
slowing down though. You needed help there, big guy.
26. I was
So-
like 32. Okay.
But you were killing it. Business was soaring, and I thought, I think I can help him out. Maybe we could work together. So kept throwing the team idea out there at you, and you resisted for quite some time, probably 6 months to a year, before finally seeing the light and making the move.
Yes, and I do wish we did it many years before we actually did, because it was an amazing evolution, I think, both for you and I personally, and also I truly believe for our clients, because one thing that we did when we started the team, and I'm to this day still very proud of this fact, was that we didn't just build it for numbers or a bunch of different people on their own island kind of selling real estate, doing their own thing. We really built it based upon the structure and providing our clients true experts in each area of the transaction, whether it be transaction coordination, marketing, photography, etc. We have people who specialize in those various aspects of the transaction to help them have an even better experience. So I know that's been kind of our foundation in building the team, and I wish we did it a long time ago, that's for sure. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we kind of designed different ways to really increase the service level when we started the team. How do we further make the client experience better? How do we market their homes better? And, it was a slow and steady build for the team itself, but the whole time keeping the client's best interest and their greatest possible experience in mind.
For sure. Love it. All right, cool. I'm sure we will certainly tell some stories in the future about both that and our prior experiences. But all right, so John, we covered a bit about our backgrounds, what got us into the business, our experience in the business. Let's talk about today, 2024. What's going on in the life of JT? What is new? What's good? What do you got cooking?
Everything's good, I mean,
you're sitting across the table from me.
It doesn't get much better than that, right? But things are good here, keeping busy, team's growing,
Okay.
seeing a bunch of young bucks come in here. Now I feel like the old guy.
You are the old guy.
And not the oldest guy, but we're getting up there. But watching the team grow, excited to see all of them succeed.
Yep.
So things are good here. Excited for a big year in 2024. I think it's going to be, a fun, fast-moving market. We'll see some more transactions this year.
We'll dive into this further, but I mean, does every realtor always think it's going to be a big year? I mean, is that just
No.
no?
No.
You don't. You've entered a year and said this year's going to be awful. I mean, just
I try
god
not to
awful.
say awful. There's opportunities
I
everywhere.
know you
but
are
I
a pessimist, but
I like to think glass half full. But,
Okay.
But no, I don't think every year is going to be a huge year.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't foresee this being like 2020 and 2021. But I think it'll certainly see more transactions than last year.
Okay. Let's get out of the business for a second. What makes Jon tick?
John.
What do we got? Like, tell me about your personal life. Are you single? Are you married? Are you like cats? Are you a cat person? I mean,
I'm not a cat person. I am married.
Closet cat person.
Married to my lovely wife.
Nothing wrong with
Jen.
cat people, by the way. I love cat people.
Love cat people. Peace and love for the cat people. Married to my lovely wife Jen for 5 years now. You should know that. You were there on the big day.
I know, but I'm speaking for our audience. I'm just trying to give them some context here.
I have my border collie Cash. He's my best bud.
What made you name him Cash?
Well, I was weighing different names, and actually you were like, "Hey, Bozo, I don't like that name. You should name it something cool like Escrow."
Escrow was a great dog name.
And I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but I don't think anyone outside of real estate would get it. But did inspire me to think of some other names, so I went back and forth.
Are you a Johnny Cash fan? Johnny Cash?
Not really.
Can you name 3 Johnny Cash songs? Okay.
No, I can't name 3 Johnny Cash songs, and I know your favorite game is trying to make me guess who sings it, but we're not going to go there right now.
Yeah, so for everybody at home, Jon has many strong suits. One of them is definitely not pop culture.
No.
It's not his forte. Many years ago when we started the team, we actually shared an office. Those were the days. And I am a fan of music, and I used to play music quite a bit during the workday.
Best singer in the basement?
Best singer in the basement, absolutely. Mixture of Fergie and Jesus, as they say. Yeah. But certainly, when it comes to listening to music, I often would say, "Hey, Jon, who sings it?" And after many, many years, you got very frustrated by this because you never got it right.
That's not true.
It is.
Every blind squirrel finds a nut, Nick. I would get it sometimes.
You actually, yes, you kind of know the Beatles. That's about it.
I do know the Beatles.
What made you get into the Beatles?
My dad's very into the Beatles. Okay. Both my parents like the Beatles.
Okay. Best Beatle. Who's the best Beatle?
And Paul McCartney.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And but anyways, talk about personal life. So, in my dad being a fan of music, loving the Beatles, he has my son very into the Beatles. Okay. So Hudson will be watching TV and he'll actually point and say, "That's Paul McCartney." Nice. So he is very much so.
What's his favorite Beatles song?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with "Hey Jude."
Okay.
He does also love Mull of Kintyre.
Oh wow.
And there's
one
many
of the
other
deep tracks
songs.
for that.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He loves those bagpipes.
Okay.
Yeah. You seen the music video?
No.
Oh yeah, bagpipes on the beach. He loves it.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's also a big
Was that the new one they released? I haven't got into it. Is it Mull of Kintyre? I don't even know what that song is.
It's a video on YouTube. You should check it out sometime if you're as into music as you claim.
I don't claim to be anything except more into it than you are. Anyway, let's move along here. This is when you're supposed to ask me, Jon.
Yeah, so what's going on? I didn't know if we were done.
Okay.
What's going on with you? I've been getting accused of jumping around too fast, not talking about myself. But what's going on with you?
What's going on with me? It is January 2024. Just celebrate the new year. Got over about 100-day cough or so.
I don't think it's gone.
It's not 100%, but it's getting better. I was out to dinner with some friends last week, and they went to take my order before the PC game for this nice dinner at this lovely restaurant. And as soon as the waiter came over to me, started asking, I started coughing. I could not stop. Very, very embarrassing. Everyone in the restaurant, I'm sure, thought I was dying.
Yeah, that's what you want to hear when you're enjoying it.
Exactly, yeah. So that wasn't my finest moment, but I am feeling a bit better thanks to a little 5-day Z-Pack. I'm not sure exactly what I was suffering from, but it is improving. We are turning the corner.
So better.
Yes. So 2024 is off to a hot start. Just living the life of a realtor who is happily married at home with 2 lovely girls who keep me on my toes. 2 children, 11 and 6 years old. And it's just barrels of fun, and I feel very fortunate to be here. I'm looking forward to. I actually saw the first Masters commercial last night. That got me going.
Excited for that.
I'm a big golfer, so it's kind of my big hobby outside of real estate and family. Love to travel.
Mm-hmm. Any big travel plans coming up?
We're going to Florida for a conference soon, you and I, and might gallivant around Walt's World for a little bit. So
we should.
Yes, looking forward to that. Other than that. Nothing else too crazy.
All right. Speaking of golf, big Tiger news yesterday.
Yeah, separated from Nike. Yeah.
24 years?
Yeah, long time. You a big Nike guy?
Yeah.
All right, that hit a dead end. Let's. All right, Johnny Boy, JT. Let's kick it off with some industry news here. Got some interesting stats. First one actually came out yesterday. I have no idea when this will be released, so it may be like weeks ago by the time you listen to this. I hope not. But yesterday, January 8th, Zillow came out with a report on their predictions for the 10 hottest real estate markets in 2024. And let's play a little game, John. Have you read this article yet?
I didn't read the article, but I did hear...
Top market for 2024. Take a guess.
Buffalo.
Wow, you did read it then, huh?
I didn't read the article.
You know where you picked Buffalo if you didn't read the article.
I read my Morning Brew.
Absolutely. Oh, you read Morning Brew. Okay. Cheating. Anyway, yes, Zillow did come out with this article, unveiled the top 5. Do you happen to know where the Providence metro market landed on this study of the hottest markets of 2024?
7.
Are you sure it's top 10?
I'm not.
Okay. It's a close guess. So we'll get right to the chase here. Providence came in as the number 5 market of all metro markets for 2024. So let's pull up this report here, dive into it a bit, and get your thoughts there, Mr. John.
Look at Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York, number 1. Cincinnati, Ohio, Houday, number 2. Columbus, Ohio, number 3. Indianapolis. Who wants to go to Indianapolis? Love you all in Indianapolis. Providence, Rhode Island, number 5. Wow. Atlanta, Georgia, number 6. Charlotte, North Carolina. Cleveland, Ohio. Orlando, Florida. And Tampa, Florida, rounding out the top 10.
Look at Ohio. 3 of the top 10.
3 of the top 10 in Ohio. What's going on in Ohio?
I don't know.
We'll
have to pay to visit. See what's
Skyline Chili. I do like something like that. Yeah. So, all right, cool. So let's find exactly where. Now, John, before I tell you what they used in their study on how to come up with these top 10 hottest housing markets of 2024, what do you think makes Providence, Rhode Island, one of the most desirable and hottest real estate markets in the grand old United States of America?
I'm going to have to go with the fact that there are a number of jobs. It's a very densely populated area here in the small state. And by Providence Metro, they're certainly thinking outside just Providence, probably most of Rhode Island.
That is what a metro market is, yep.
Yeah. So most of Rhode Island, where we have a good jobs market, great food. We're right by the coast. So I'm sure there's good shipping. And it's also right in between New York City and Boston.
Okay. All great reasons. Absolutely could not disagree with any of them. Let's take a look here. So I found the spot. Zillow says the hottest markets in 2024 was based on an analysis of forecast home value growth, recent housing market velocity, and projected changes in the labor market. You hit that one. Ding, ding, ding. Winna, chicken dinner. Home construction activity in a number of homeowner households. So that's where they land. So Providence, Rhode Island coming in hot, number 5, top 5 housing markets in the United States of America.
That's awesome.
Makes you proud? Proud to be here, right?
Very proud.
I love Rhode Island.
Very
Absolutely
proud.
love it. All right, cool. So that is the first story. Any other final thoughts on that, John, before we move along?
Did you get to Providence much?
Occasionally. I was there this past week, actually.
Okay, I didn't think you left Warwick.
I don't like to leave Warwick unless I have to. In this case, I went up there with some very good friends, some great people. Went out, had a nice, lovely dinner, caught a PC game. Unfortunately, Bryce Hopkins tore his ACL. It was not a great day. There was a loss to Seton Hall, but regardless, it was a lovely night with fine people. So
maybe you should stay away from those PC games.
That's kind of what I was afraid of. That was my first and last invite from my good friend Matt. So that's something in the past now. So anyway, that covers that. Before we jump off the topic totally, in our Homestretch newsletter last week, we actually shared a link to another chart that talked about the Providence Warwick metro market, where they actually claimed, now this was from, let's see here, Freddie Mac House Price Index. Our good friend, not really, we'd like to be friends with him, but Lance Lambert, I believe his new company is called Resi Club. Apologies if that wasn't 100% correct. But anyway, he linked this in his newsletter, and we shared it in ours. The Freddie Mac House Price Index showed Providence metro market being in the top 20 out of 384 markets for year-over-year price gains. So let's jump into that and show what they indicated They say our metro market saw an 11.9% year-over-year price gain. What caused a 12% year-over-year price gain in that marketplace, John?
It's all supply and demand, Nick. For years now, we've been seeing a lot of buyer demand and just not enough homes for them to choose from. So when a home goes on the market, there's several buyers who are interested, and many times they fight over it. It causes a bidding war, and that drives the price up. And when you see that time and time again, prices have gone up fairly drastically over the last several years.
They have. We'll definitely dive into that more in the upcoming market stats section. I know you're all on the edge of your seat for that. So let's look. They have Mansfield, Ohio as the number one year-over-year price gain. A lot of Ohio going on. What is going on? If you're listening and you live in Ohio, let us know what's in the water out in Ohio. So need to know what's going on out there. Let's talk about Tay-Tay's touch here, transforming cities into real estate hotspots. All right?
Awesome.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Did you read this article?
I did not.
Oh, why do I put this newsletter together if you're not going to read it every week?
I figured you would tell me all about it today. I wanted to wait and hear it right from you.
All right. Let's talk about Swift Impact here. The anti-hero chart topper. I got that one right the first time. I struggled with that in a video before. Yeah, not bad.
You struggle with a lot of things in the video.
I do. I'm not perfect. We all can't be Jon Tatro, that's for sure. So anyway, Architectural Digest recently put out a study that showed during the first leg of Swift's U.S. Eras Tour, local home prices jumped by an average of 2.1% following her concerts. How do you like them apples?
It's bananas.
John, what's your favorite Taylor Swift era?
I don't know.
He calls himself a Swiftie. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, so 2.1%, outpacing the national average. For instance, Atlanta saw a significant 8.8% increase following her concert.
It's wild.
Absolutely insane. So, why does that happen? Researchers suggest it is due to the tour's economic impact attracting fans who might consider relocating. When you go away, John, as a realtor, what do you do? What do you think of? You love the place. You go to
Love the place.
South Carolina. Where do you go? What is your favorite spot?
I'm a big Florida person.
Okay.
I like going to Disney.
Okay.
I should say Disney more so than Florida.
Okay. This might not fly
otherwise-
in this example that I was trying to lead you down the path of, but that's okay.
What do you want me to say? When I travel to see a sporting event?
I mean, I know when I travel, I know one spot I often go with my family is like Hilton Head.
Yeah.
Or we were recently out in San Diego.
Yeah.
Love San
You check
Diego.
out the real estate, don't you?
I do. I go right to Zillow. I check out the real estate. I want to know what's going on. I want to say, oh, this is an amazing place. What if I just upended my entire life and moved to this location? What would it do? And apparently, that's what Swifties are doing too. They're going to these shows. They're pulling up these apps, and they're looking at local real estate. And they're actually making the moves.
They're going to the concert. They're trying the local food, the drinks, checking out the nightlife, and then they fall in love and just want to go back and plant roots.
I love it. All right, so they also noted the top city that Swifties want to move to after the show. What do you think that one would be?
Nashville.
No, that's good. Really? Good guess. Pretty good guess, though. Houston, Texas seems to be the favorite, with 45% of Swifties wanting to relocate there. So the Swift effect is real.
Wow.
Awesome.
There's a lot of Swifties. 45% would fill Houston.
I would imagine so. Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump into some real estate trends. I know you are a trendsetter, a trendy guy, judged by those Nikes. What do we got rocking and rolling for 2024's interior home trends, John? What do you think are some of the top things these interior designers are calling for in the upcoming year?
I think the white kitchens may be going away.
I just put in a white kitchen.
Did you?
I did.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Might have been a mistake. I'm going to go with the timeless look. And maybe things got to come back. I mean, if I give it long enough, it's going to be back in style before we know. Maybe not for 2024, but...
No, leave it 40 or 50 years. I'm sure it'll come back.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull this article up from Vogue.
Give me some clues here.
I heard you subscribe to Vogue, John.
Browns are in. Browns are in.
Browns are in.
Wood, like dark wood.
Dark wood. We never should have left Greenwich Ave. We got a live audience, by the way, over there on the other side, and Phil is just. I'm sure he's so happy listening.
Greenwich Ave.
Greenwich Ave Brown, though.
No, Greenwich Ave is our old office, for anybody who doesn't know, and it was covered in 70s wood paneling.
Some brown, some painted blue.
Mostly brown. It was a very brown office.
Was there green? Is there green carpet?
There was it was a very, very dated piece of property. Yeah. But it served us well for many, many
Absolutely.
years. 40 years, I think, or so.
Really orange desk back.
You don't have a mic over there, Phil, so let's keep you off to the sideline. This is a podcast. So, love
There's
you.
only
Absolutely
there's
love
two
you.
people shooting the
Shooting this off to the side right now. Cool. All right. So interior trends. Let's take a look. I was hoping to be like bullet points. What's in quiet luxury?
Oh, tell me more about quiet luxury.
I think this is like a Succession thing, actually. To be
Okay.
quite honest, I didn't really dive into this article. It does say Succession right there. I know Kendall Roy was big. They were saying he was a role model. Is that the right? Or
I can't imagine
not a
that's
role
true.
model, but I mean, anyway, he set the trend.
He was a trendsetter.
Yes, he was for quiet luxury, and I guess it's high quality goods, but yet not screaming like logos and stuff like
He always
that.
had on a plain baseball hat.
He did. So sophisticated brand, quiet luxury. That is the top trend. Next one is mono rooms. Tone on. We should have Steph jump in as a guest because she is. This is right up her alley, anyway. But anyway, mono rooms, tone on tone decor. Something so elevated and fun about layering a single hue within a space. No commentary.
I love it.
All right, this section.
Kill it. Maybe next time
we'll
should
see if it makes the
prepare.
edit. We'll see if
We
it
should
makes.
prepare and share this info in advance next time.
Nate did share it actually, and you just didn't look at it.
Okay. I didn't know there were links.
Okay. Fashion colors as home colors. Brown's going to have a major moment. Kind of hit on that. Vintage lighting.
Brown, interesting.
Yeah, big
I'm
brown.
not sure how I feel about brown
No?
inside. No.
Yeah, there are nice browns. A lot of nice browns out there. I think you need to think outside the box.
Oh, I think outside the box.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
China pantries.
China pantries.
It's a contemporary take on a butler pantry for spaces to display and store flatware in China. Stripes are big, apparently.
Check out that.
Vertical stripes on this bathroom.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Tiled stripes.
stunning.
Big zebra tub.
It is a big. Imagine trying to wash a zebra in that tub. Stripes are in glass bricks, also in.
I like that.
In the color yellow, our old
Interesting.
company color before the amazing rebrand with 1,000 watt. But yellow is in for 2024.
The rebrand was a good call.
Our rebrand was a
Yeah.
good call. They did outstanding work. If anybody in the real estate space happens to be listening to this and is looking for a recommendation on a company to handle not just a rebrand, but an entire marketing message, finding out more about who you are, 1,000 Watt is the company to do it. Absolutely amazing experience. Would
100%.
recommend them 110%. I'd recommend them.
They designed that wallpaper right behind
They
you.
did.
Yeah.
They did. Marble accessories also in. Dark wood, paneled walls. Oh my
man.
goodness, look at that.
Greenwich Ave.
That's a little nicer than Grand Chap. That's kind of
Much
like the
nicer.
rustic barn type
Yep,
look. I thought that was
absolutely.
kind of going out.
I
but
do like that.
Vogue says
Yep.
it is back
I'm
in.
a fan of that.
Local makers and design. Love this. So you
Yeah.
can kind of find some local artisans here in the Rhode Island area, some coastal driftwood, stuff
Proud
like
of you.
that.
You nailed artisans first try.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had to slow down a bit, but we made it work. Mixing textures. I mean, love with how people mix textures. Good stuff there. Silver accents, one-of-a-kind pieces, and that is going to wrap up all I feel like talking about when it comes to trends for 2024. All right. What do you think about it? What's your favorite trend? What are you going to go home and do to your lovely abode there up in Lincoln, Rhode Island?
You know, this is probably going to be hard for you to believe, but I might look into some modern wood paneling. Not Greenwich Ave wood paneling,
Okay.
but like they had in this article.
Okay. I'm going to go with the zebra tub. But,
Zebra tub.
no, I'm just-
I can't wait to see that zebra tub.
Love it. All right. Next topic. Providence Restaurant Week. JT, best course in dinner. First, second, or third course?
I'm going to have to go with second.
Okay.
You know, I think the main is probably the best, but, you know, I almost went with first.
I thought you'd go third. I thought you were a sweet kind of guy.
I love me some chocolate cake.
No, you do.
Yeah, chocolate cake,
Yeah.
you know, maybe a warm brownie and some ice cream. But,
all right.
but you know, I almost went appetizers. I was thinking calamari.
Calamari,
you know,
yeah,
something
yeah.
like
Okay,
that.
yep.
But also, you know, steak, veal parm. I have to go with the main.
Going Maine?
Yeah.
I'm going first course.
Really?
You know why? You get in, the setting's wonderful. You sit down, you're starting to feel like, all right, I'm gonna have a good dinner. I got some good friends here. I got some good people. Maybe a little cocktail, appetizer. It just kicks it off. It's like, all right, now I'm feeling it. Now I'm going. You know,
I have to admit, you have me thinking now, because you know what else is great about the first course?
Yeah.
You still have 2 more in front of you.
Exactly. A lot of things to look forward to. By the time you get to the third course, you're already kind of like, man, we're winding down this wonderful experience. And I gotta go home. I go back to work. I got the Sunday scaries, whatever it might be.
Maybe you had too much in the first 2 courses, so you feel like falling asleep on the table.
Exactly. Your eyes were bigger than your stomach. Definitely, I'm a first course guy. But I love the top 2. I think the power rankings are exactly how they fall on the plate. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Providence Restaurant Week is a local event where lovely Rhode Islanders can take advantage of some fantastic restaurants with a prefix menu where they get to choose 3 courses, typically. Not always. No rule on that. Everybody knows the rules. No rules. And in regards to the 3 courses, I mean, they got a great meal at a great deal, typically a lower than retail type cost. So I would definitely recommend they get out there and check out some restaurants. I know the Old Canteen is your favorite, right?
Yeah, it's up there.
I mean, you just
for restaurant week,
in the show notes, I think Old Canteen was wow. All right, so that kind of wraps up a little bit of industry news, a little bit of local events. Let's talk about the year of 2023 in real estate, Jon. What did the year bring? What was your experience navigating the market of 2023?
2023 was a year that, to say the least, was constantly evolving. We started the year coming off of a slowdown in November and December
Reason
of
for
2022.
That slowdown in 2022 was?
Rates started to go up and buyers pulled back a bit. And then it was the 2nd or 3rd week of January and buyers came back with a bang. Okay. And that really kept going until late October, I would say, for most of the year. Despite rates climbing, high 6s into the 7s, all the way through the 7s, those buyers were still out in masses, making multiple offers, sometimes waiving inspections, offering appraisal language desirable to sellers. And it really took until rates hit about 8% in October where we saw those buyers pull back again. And we saw a bit of a slowdown through the end of the year again, even though the rates came back to the mid-6s by the end of the year.
They did, yeah. So I would say you painted a much more optimistic picture, a much more rosy picture, rose-colored glasses, Paul McCartney, whatever you want to do, of the 2023 year in review. So I would challenge you a bit on that. I would say that I don't think buyers really came back with a bang. I think it was a good year. It still was a strong seller's market. So there were still many more buyers in the marketplace than there were sellers for the whole year, not for the majority year, the entire year. But I would say that the market crashed substantially.
Oh, it sure did.
In 2023. Just not in the way most people anticipate.
Explain that to people listening, because some people would say crash. It didn't crash.
It absolutely.
2008 was a crash, Nick.
2008 was a crash, Jon.
And I agree with you, but explain for those who are listening.
For sure. So the market crashed not in terms of value. And now the reason why I did not, I'm a strong believer, was simply supply and demand, as you mentioned. There's not enough homes in the market. However, the market did crash, and it crashed when it comes to total sales in the marketplace, the total number of transactions in the marketplace. We saw significant declines when comparing 2023 with 2022. It was very reminiscent of 2008, 9, 10 years, somewhere in that range. We'll dive into the specifics, but I would say 2023, on a whole, strong seller's market, increasing prices. Long story short, nowhere near as much activity in the marketplace. If you missed the mark on pricing, especially towards the end of the year, you were going to sit on the market for an extended period of time. But let's take a peek at these actual numbers here. So these are early numbers, not officially reported by the Rhode Island Association of Realtors yet. These are just me being a complete data nerd, exporting numbers and
You're
looking
a data
at huge data nerd. Very, very strange. Somehow I like doing that, and also actually interacting with people. I don't know how that's a common thing, but it's something that we'll make work. Anyway, median price. The median price is looking like it's going to come back in 2023 at $425. $425 median single-family home price across all of Rhode Island. and that is in comparison to 402 in 2022.
How about just 5 years ago? How much has that gone up in the last 5 years?
All right, let's see. 5 years ago, we were looking, 2018?
Yeah.
Median price in 2018 was $270,000.
It's quite an increase.
It is quite an increase. We've seen the market take off like crazy. But the point to which I was referencing, total number of sales, the total number of sales across Rhode Island is looking to be right under 7,400 single-family homes across the entire state.
Wow.
Last year, a little over 9,500 homes. Year before that, 11,500 single-family homes.
Substantial drop.
Substantial decreases. The last year, we saw the total number of sales hover around 7,400. Was 2011. We saw 6,700 home sales in 2011, 6,800 plus in 2010. These are approximate numbers, and a little bit over 7,700 in 2009. So these total activity, total sales in the marketplace, very reminiscent of the 2007 to 2011 time period. So yes, market has crashed. Values, not so much. Total sales, yes, 100% crash. Distressed properties, another reason why home values are probably not declining, is basically the distressed sales are practically non-existent. Distressed sales came in 2023 at 131, and distress was in MLS, homes that were either a foreclosure, REO bank-owned, I should say, or a short sale. 131 this year, 80 last year, a slight increase. But to put this into perspective, 2008, 9, 10, 2008 had 2,000 compared to 130 this year. 2009 had 2,600 compared to 130 this year. So absolute minuscule numbers.
That makes sense. I mean, how many investors do we work with that would love to have a project right now and they just have nothing to choose from in that regard?
Absolutely.
You're not seeing many foreclosures or short sales out there.
No, I mean, I know a lot of the investors. I mean, certainly there are some out there that are a bit more aggressive than others, and they're out there and they're finding great deals and they're making it work. But I know a lot have kind of went to the sidelines, just kind of sitting out the market right now. So, and let's look at average days on market. That has steadily fallen over the last handful of years. We came in at about 32 days. For single-family homes on the market. Compare that to back in 08, 09, 2010, around 95 days.
Wow.
Big drop there, but very similar to last year, 31 days. Year before that, 34 days. That's where things are shaking out. But let's dive in a bit more. So let's look at activity in the market, John. Single-family homes across the state of Rhode Island, all right?
Okay.
The total number of new listings. How do you think that compares to the year before?
Down.
It's a good guess. Yes, you are spot on. Just over 20% reduction in new listings. How about total sales? We already said that that's way down about 22%.
That makes sense. I would think that would follow the new listings.
Yeah, new listings don't hit the market, they're not selling. Makes total sense in the
Can't
world.
sell it if it's not on the market.
100%. Smart guy.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Smart guy. You are. I do think you're smart, so that is entirely true. Rhode Island condo stats. New listings down about 14%. Wow. Total sales down almost 22%. Very similar to single-family homes. Rhode Island multifamilies. New listings down about 21% year over year. In total sales, big drop here. Actually bigger than single families and condos. Multifamily home sales saw just over a 28% drop in the total number of sales. Why do you think that is?
Kind of in the way we talked about the multifamilies, there's fewer condos to choose from. And condos, oftentimes someone's looking for something very specific. I have a buyer right now that's specifically looking for a loft-style condo. It's what he wants. There's also a lot of empty nesters who are specifically looking for that one-level condo with a garage. And they don't come up that often. So when you do, you get the bidding wars, and that'll drive the price up.
And I think, too, it goes back to affordability as well. I mean, condos, the median sales price on a condo across the entire state was what, $65,000, $67,000 less than a single family, so just dollars and cents. I think people can, get into home ownership, period, or get more bang for their buck, and they've kind of pivoted to that route. So, all right, multifamilies, sales prices, the average sales price saw an increase about 10.5%. Average sales price of over $508. The median sales price of about $470,000 for multifamily home sales, up almost 12%.
Gone up quite a bit over the last few years.
They have. So condo and multi-market definitely outpacing the single-family market on price gains. So that is a quick look at the 2023 numbers. Any final thoughts here, JT, before we move along to some predictions for 2024?
No, it was an interesting year in the market last year. Granted, we still saw opportunities, but a lot of people, I know some buyers out there had a hard time. But I would just say for them, keep your head up, keep your eyes peeled this year. I think there's going to be more opportunities, and I'm excited to dive in.
I agree. I think it was a tough year. I think it was a year that a lot of people in the business have never experienced before. I know even for yourself, for example, Kenneth came in and saw appreciating markets almost every year of your career. So I know I had to talk you off the ledge a couple of times.
I came in kind of... Things had already crashed when I came in, So I spent a lot of time. I felt like everything I showed was a foreclosure at first, but we're working our way out of it.
For sure. So it's definitely going to be a changing market. Experience counts, and nothing we haven't seen before. That's for sure. So, all right, JT, you ready for the last and final section of our inaugural podcast? Are you ready to take it home?
I'm ready to bring it home, Nicholas.
All right, let's bring it home. Yeah. Take me home tonight. I am not a singer, so let's cut that one out.
Best singer in the basement, I thought.
I don't have a lot of competition, or I didn't back then. Let's look at some 2024 market predictions. Now, I just put out a lengthy video in regards to some market predictions. Where do you want to start, John? You want to start with mortgage rates, sales? What do you want to lay out first?
Let's start with your thoughts on rates, because I think that may kind of set the tone
Sure.
for what happens with the prices.
Awesome. So mortgage rates. Let's dive in. Definitely a key driver of the market,
Absolutely.
right? The days of that, 2.8, 3% mortgage, unfortunately, are long gone. I don't foresee them coming back anytime soon.
I would tend to agree.
But let's look at some of the leading industry players' mortgage rate projections. The National Association of Realtors anticipates rates to average around 6.3 to 6.5% in 2024. That's what NAR is predicting. Let's see what else we can find here. Ryan Serhant, $1 million listing. I know you are a Ryan Serhant fanboy.
Big fan.
Can't blame you for that.
Smart guy.
Yeah, definitely. He expects rates to stabilize. His tweet, is it still called a tweet, or is it called X?
I'm still calling it a tweet.
Okay, well, his tweet indicated that he believes interest rates will actually stabilize, in all caps. Didn't need to yell that, Ryan. I don't think interest rates are going to plummet, but if unemployment stays low, the Fed will keep interest rates stable. That's Ryan's take on interest rates.
Fair take.
Fannie Mae foresees further moderation in mortgage rates, contributing to a slight uptick in sales for 2024. A little teaser there for an upcoming section. Let's see here. Redfin's analysis reveals that mortgage payments have hit an 8-month low, and this downtrend in mortgage rates is projected to stabilize and persist into 2024. So, Realtor.com, last one I've got here, predicting rates will hover in the mid-6 range. What's your take, John? What do we got out of all those leading players?
There all seem to be, low 6s, mid 6s. I'm hoping that we can end the year somewhere right around 6. Okay. My goodness, if we could see even a 5, even if it's 599, put a 5 in front of it.
Let's go.
Even if it's a 599, I'll take it. I think that would solve a lot of problems for this market.
Yeah, I've read studies before that 5.5 is like kind of that key number where, boy, if rates were at 5.5, can you imagine the competition that would come back, or the foot traffic that would come back to the real estate market? So recently, John, there was a study from BlackRock that came out that said for every 1% drop in mortgage rates, 5 million more buyers come back into the market.
That's a lot of buyers.
A ton of buyers. A ton more competition. So that's what I think a lot of people aren't seeing. And here's my prediction. I think rates will hover low 6s. I don't think we're going to see a 5 handle. I hope I'm wrong on that one. Yeah. With that being said, I think buyers have a window of time between now, let's call it the end of Q1, to capitalize on the recent mortgage rate drop. So rates drop before Christmas to around 6.6, 6.7. Right now, as we are recording this on January 9th, Mortgage News Daily is indicating the average rate for today is 6.8%. If we see rates trickle down to the mid to low 6s, buyers will face such intense competition, reminiscent of the 2021 days that they'll have wished they bought in the fourth quarter of 2023 or Q1 of 2024. So I think there's a window of time where they will face less competition. They won't have to do all these crazy things like waiving inspections. Not that you ever have to, but
Don't advise it.
Don't advise it. We don't agree with it. There's other ways to amend that language that makes it attractive. But I think buyers have a window. I think they got to capitalize, and I think that time is ongoing right now.
I agree 100%. What we really need is rates to hit a point where people decide, okay, I really want to move up to my dream home, or it's time I need to move for whatever reason it is, and they're willing to give up that 2 3/4, that 3% rate that they're locked into from a refi, and put their home on the market. That's what we really need, and I'm hopeful for this year.
What do you make, John, of marry the house, date the rate?
Ugh. Don't like it, Nick.
Okay.
Nick.
Why?
Marry the house, date the rate. What if rates don't change? How long are you comfortable? I think it's risky business.
For sure.
I think someone should purchase a home if they're comfortable, and know that if you're comfortable today and rates go down, that's great. So many people are saying, I'm going to wait for rates to go down, and everyone's screaming, oh, marry the house, date the rate. The real response to that is, are you comfortable today? If you're not comfortable today, don't do it.
Yeah.
Or find something that you are comfortable with. But at the same time, I wouldn't strictly wait to buy until rates come down, because as you were just saying, that's going to create immense competition.
Never mind, values went up 6% last year.
Bingo. So if you can lock into a price now, being that you're comfortable with the rate, know that if rates go up and values go up, as values will typically appreciate in time, you've got yourself in at a really good time. If rates happen to go down, then you secured a good price, and you could always refi. But the key is making sure you're comfortable today.
Great advice, JT. Absolutely love it. All right, we're moving on now from mortgage rates to home sales. Let's turn our attention to this. We've already touched upon what happened here in Rhode Island, but let's look at more of a national level, what some of these leading industry players are calling for predictions. NAR, the National Association of Realtors, is calling for a strong comeback and a substantial 13.5% increase in existing home sales, complemented by a significant 19% boost in new home sales. I know we don't see a ton of new construction here in Rhode Island, John, but still a 13.5% increase in existing home sales. I think they are the most bullish of all of the leading industry players on calling for that big of a jump in home sales. And I, for one, hope they're right.
Oh, I really hope they're right as well.
That's for sure. I hope our buddy Lawrence Yoon is spot on that one. So I know he's a brilliant guy.
Smart guy.
I'm going to lead with his predictions. That's for sure. So, all right, existing home sales, NAR, 13.5%. Fannie Mae, let's see what they had to say. They forecasted a gradual recovery, acknowledging familiar challenges, many of which we've already touched upon. Unaffordability, homeowners clinging to low-rate mortgages. What do you call that?
Yeah.
What do you call that?
What?
John was not listening to me. Homeowners clinging to low-rate mortgages. What do we call that? That's the lock-in effect, John. That's what they call it out there. The scarcity of...
I was reading.
All right. So anyway, the scarcity of available homes, inventory also low. All right, so that's where Fannie Mae is. They are only calling for a marginal increase.
Oh, it's right there on the screen. I was behind you.
Very marginal increase. Let's see here. Realtor.com, I gave it with the little Boston accent there, presents a somewhat subdued outlook. They expect home sales to just slightly surpass the record low of 2023. So just a minor little uptick there, with projections hovering just over 4 million total sales across the entire United States of America. All right, moving on. Redfin, they believe they were going to see a 5% increase in home sales in 2024. They believe there will be improved affordability with lower mortgage rates and an uptick in home listings. This marks a stark contrast to trends observed in 2023, hinting at a dynamic shift in the market. Ivy Zellman, I know she's often one of the most bearish economists. Is she an economist? I'm not sure. I believe so, but maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Predicting a flat housing market in 2024 with a slight downturn in new home sales. She points to an aging population and increased vacancies. But she does think 2025 will see a 7% increase, Ivy Zellman says. So that's where everyone's shaking out in 2024. What do you predict, John? We had 7,500 and change, 7,400 and change single-family home sales. We had 9,500 last year. Give me a number. Let's set a little first bet. Get it on the big board here. What do we got?
Yeah, I think we're probably going to be somewhere in between. I'm going to go with 8,400.
8,400 is the over-under. You're taking the over or the under?
Oh, man.
I'll give you
that's my
first
line.
back.
You let me set the line. Now I have
I'll
to pick
set the line at
under.
8,401. Are you taking the under?
I'm going to go with the over.
Okay. All right, I'll go under just to be contrarian here.
All right.
So first bet of the Shootin the SHT podcast is over under on total sales at 8,401. Taking the under. I hope I'm wrong. And JT taking the over. Over. All right. I killed it on the unders this week, actually. So I'm gonna hope it.
A little sportsbook action there.
Legal now. So
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Let's move on to home values. In regards to home values here across our great nation, Zillow. What do you think Zillow says about home values? What do they see happening with home values? Let's take a little guess. What do you got?
I won't cheat, I won't look, but I suspect Zillow is going to say home values will increase. I'm going to go with...
I'm going to stop you there. You're wrong. There's no
wrong.
increase. So no
Zillow
increase.
thinks home values are going to decline.
They called for a slight 0.2% dip
Wow.
in values. I'm glad you watched the video I put out last
Do you think
week.
they're going to be right?
I think, real estate is always going to be local. There are pockets of the country. There are pockets of Rhode Island. There are pockets of Warwick. There are pockets of any city or town where home values will increase, and there are pockets where home values will decrease.
So give me two predictions. Give me national and give me Rhode Island.
National, I'm going to say, is pretty flat. Can I get like a half a point buffer? No?
No.
I got to nail the decimal point?
Yeah.
It's absolutely unheard of.
Hey, you gave me a line.
All right. So if you set the line at 0...
0.00.
I'm gonna say over. I just don't see the dynamics are there. I think we have a shortage of housing. I'm gonna go over. I think Zillow's wrong. Love Zillow.
All right. All right. Bold
Not
prediction
throwing
right
them
there.
out,
Zillow's
but
wrong.
yeah. I'm not gonna say they're dramatically wrong, but I think in general I'm gonna call for a slight uptick in values if they're calling for a slight
We'll
dip.
send this to our friends at Zillow. See
Okay.
how they feel.
Rhode
Island.
Rhode Island, I definitely think home values are going up.
I agree.
There's 730 and change homes on the market. A balanced, normal market. We typically see 4,000 to 6,000 homes on the market. I know back in 2008, 9, 10, we were seeing over 8,000, 9,000 homes on the market. Right now, we just have such an under supply of homes available that, yes, home values, in my opinion, definitely going up in 2024.
Agreed.
Cool. Love it. On the same page there. All right. Fannie Mae, they are observing a rebound in home prices from the mild declines of late 2022. Their forecast anticipates increase in values followed by a period of mild declines thereafter. Realtor.com, they are even more pessimistic than Zillow. They take a more cautious stance, predicting a 1.7% decrease in home values for 2024.
Wow.
Almost 2% decrease in 2024. This decline, coupled with lower mortgage rates, could contribute to making housing more affordable. That would certainly happen with a 2% decrease in home prices. Think they're spot on? No, we've kind of you already gave your prediction.
I
So
don't.
we're
I think they're
revisiting
going to be
that.
up. I don't think nationally, I don't think it's going to be up drastically, but I do think it's going to be in the green.
Okay. Redfin is projecting a 1% year-over-year decrease in home prices during the second and third quarters of 2024. This would mark the first significant price drop since 2012. Redfin calling for a decrease as well. Apparently we're the only optimists in the world. Ryan Serhant, what does our boy Ryan say there?
Ryan, sounds crazy, right? The lack of inventory is going to continue, and it's going to keep prices high and growing. Ryan Serhant thinking prices will continue to appreciate in 2024?
So us and the $1 million listing megastar, obviously the smartest people in the room.
Great minds think alike, you know?
We are not economists, just local realtors with a heavy dose of optimism. So let's see. As the economy continues to do well, inventory stays locked, demand is going to continue to outpace supply. I believe Ryan and us are on the same page there. And he does also point out if interest rates do come down, if you think prices are high now,
Look out.
just get ready, he says. Couldn't agree with him more. Yep. NAR, National Association of Realtors, forecasts a modest increase in home prices, just under 1%. So the slight rise indicates a market that is optimistic. I agree with them. Bright MLS, one of the biggest MLSs in the country, projects a 1.5% increase in home prices. Altos Research, lovely report that we get from Altos Research every Monday. They are suggesting potential declines in 2024. And I believe that wraps up our predictions or the industry insights on home prices. Let's get a little second bet on the line here. We talked about prices.
You set the line.
You didn't want to take the decline nationally. I wanted to take an increase. Let's go Rhode Island.
So we both agree prices are going up nationally slightly.
Slightly.
All right, give me a line for Rhode Island.
I'm going to say, and I get to pick first, right? Because you picked first on total sales?
Sure, set your line. And
I'm going to say 2.5%.
Okay.
I'm going to go over.
You're going to take over 2.5% in Rhode Island.
Yeah. Are we good?
I tend to agree with you, but I will take the under.
All right, let's roll. 2024 house price forecast. That's where they're shaking out. Many in the green, NAR, Goldman Sachs, HPES, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, MBA, lots of letters. And we got 2 in the red, Zillow and Realtor.com. That wraps it up. So I think we got to touch upon our predictions. Any other final predictions for the local or national real estate market in 2024? JT, what do we got? Hit me. Take me home.
Just overall, I think we're going to see more transactions. Hopefully, rates lower. Closer to the even 6 mark by the end of the year. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great year.
Okay.
Let's get into some other predictions this week before any news breaks. What's going to happen with Bill Belichick?
Wow. Bill Belichick is going to be retained.
You think he's going to stay?
I think he's going to stay with less responsibility. Not saying I agree with it, although he is the greatest coach of all time. But I'm going to say Bill Belichick retains coaching duties with a new GM.
Okay. Any ideas on who that GM might be?
No. What's your call on Bill Belichick?
I'm fearful that you might be right, but I'm going to go with he's gone. He's out of here.
Vrabel
Clean house. Start fresh. Maybe Vrabel. I'd say he's probably the betting favorite.
Okay.
With no Bill.
Okay.
So I'm going to say Bill goes. I think Bill needs to go. I am in favor of that option.
Okay, one final critical question. Total hypothetical situations. You have to choose one.
Okay.
Only these 2 scenarios exist. First one, you are walking in the woods alone, maybe Alaska, something like that. You're walking, you're hiking.
Snow on the ground?
Maybe 3 inches or so of snow, maybe a slight, covering. A little crunchy, maybe if it froze over a little bit, thawed and froze. So you're in Alaska. You're walking around the corner. You're looking at this beautiful view. All of a sudden, you come upon a large grizzly bear. Okay?
Fantastic.
Grizzly bear.
Okay.
That's your first hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Second hypothetical situation is you are out on the Cape. Maybe you're hanging out with your family. You decide to go for a swim. It's very hot. It's like 95 degrees and humid.
Okay.
And you're like, I got to cool off. You go in the water. You're staying at Chatham Bars Inn because you're bougie. And you go in the water. And you are all alone, 75 yards from shore, and come across a great white shark.
75 yards?
That's not that far.
To be alone with a shark?
50 yards off the shore. It's a little flip wedge. No big deal.
It's half a football field.
It's a little nothing.
I'm not a golf ball getting flipped here.
You're 25 yards.
50 yards in.
You're 20. Doesn't matter how far you are off the shore.
Finish your scenario.
You come across a
bananas.
great white shark. You taking the grizzly bear in the woods or the great white shark at Chatham Bars Inn? What is your choice? What do you choose and why?
I'm going with the grizzly bear all day.
Such a terrible answer.
50 here, you wanted to know why? Let me tell you why, Nicholas. Okay. If I'm 50 yards offshore with a great white shark, that thing can pull me under and have me for lunch, and I'm never even going to see the surface of the water again.
Okay, let's stop real quick. Either scenario, if they want you dead, you're dead. I mean, like there's okay. So which one do you have the better chance of surviving?
a bear.
No.
So I'm all alone in the water. They can just pull me under and have me for lunch, or even if they just decide to like toss me around and play with me, I'm 50 yards out and I don't know that I'm able to swim back in. If I'm in the woods with a grizzly bear, I can at least keep a tree between me and the grizzly bear.
You think a grizzly bear is not going to just go around the tree and
I
just maul you?
I can go around the tree too.
Absolute no chance. Absolute wrong
You don't-
choice. Absolute wrong choice. It's a shark all day long, because if you can maintain your composure, it's a big if. I totally get that. If you can maintain your composure and a shark is swimming at you, if you can maintain contact and either punch him in the nose or gently direct him, redirect him. I'm not talking ambush from underneath like Shark Week with a seal. I'm talking like it just swims up to you. And the same thing with a bear. I've seen bears run. Have you seen a grizzly bear run? Absolutely terrifying.
I bet a great white can swim pretty fast, too.
Oh, 100%.
Probably faster than you.
Dead in either scenario, but great white shark is the
You're
only
very
answer.
Casual, looking like you're almost in like a boxing class with how you're going to approach this great white. I'm not sure it's going to be that cool.
Let us know in the comments, great white shark or grizzly bear.
Grizzly bears all day.
All right, John, last question. I think I said last question 3 times now.
You did.
Rate our first podcast 0 to 10. What do you got?
I'm going to go with a 6.7.
That's pretty low.
Plenty of room for improvement.
Yeah, I agree. You can always improve. I'm going to go 7.6.
Okay.
7.6.
Oh, a 6.7 and a 7.6. Look at us.
We're just the exact opposite, except I'm optimistic. You're pessimistic. Thanks for tuning in for the first episode of Shooting the SHT, brought to you by the Slocum Home Team. That's what SHT stands for, if you haven't quite figured that one out already. Slocum Home Team, brought to you here from Rhode Island. We're excited to join you. Hopefully we keep doing this. Thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, can't thank you enough.
Team Brown Bear.
Team Shark. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Shootin the SHT. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. And if you enjoyed this content, please share it with others and leave us a rating and a review. Buying, selling, or want to connect with Nick and JT? Visit Slocum Home Team on Facebook and Instagram or slocumhometeam.com. We'll see you next time.